yes, sometimes one must stop and smell the roses. Or in this case, a beautiful sunflower made by my friend. Well, okay, I know this idea of flowers and getting all excited is a little premature. But, you know, I'm just excited. It's time. It's time to let the snow go. I'm sorry, you snow lovers. You've had your time. Okay? So by the time you see this video, it will be the end of March. And then you know what that means. April showers will bring us May flowers. And some of our flowers will come before then. Okay? Okay, yeah, so all right. So since this will be viewed the last week in March, we have been discussing how March winds, and they have been crazy as of late. Have they not? I'm telling you. Shoosh. Blow the dirt right off the driveway. Anywho. Yeah, so we're still focused this week on March and its unpredictable weather and moving us forward into the idea of the planting season. And so our craft today is going to be a inside planter. It's felt flowers. Yeah, I'll show you. Felt flowers. Say that 3 times fast. Felt flowers, felt flowers, felt flowers. Okay, I did it. Anyway, so it's going to be some felt flowers for you to start, you know, getting excited that the season is going to change. And our coats will come off and we'll be happy and playing outside. All right? Okay, enough of that. Okay, so 2 stories today. This one is a great story. It's an oldie, well, depending on one's point of view. It was written in 1974. Yep, that's the year I started high school, so there's that. All right. Anywho, it's a great piece called The Wind Blew by Pat Hutchins. And as you can see, the wind is having quite its heyday with all of the people's clothing and articles and whatever. So that one is a great piece. And the setting of this story, this is fiction, the setting of the story is over in the United Kingdom, over in England. And you'll see that because we have evidence. And we'll mark that evidence when we see it. The other story is a beautiful story. It's We Are the Gardeners, written by Joanna Gaines and her kids, and illustrated by Juliana Swanky. And the illustrations are just very sweet. They're very, you know, simple but yet detailed in their beauty. Okay? Yeah, all right. So, the story bell is here. I know you're excited about that. Yes, we all are. So get ready. Find your spot. Oh, wasn't quite ready. Hang on. Now we're ready. Here comes our first story. The Wind Blew. Oh. Okay, here we go. The wind blew. So there's, like, you can see how forcefully this wind is blowing, because look at this man's coat, and get ready, watch his umbrella. And then this little girl, it's a little hard to see her, but you will when we show you the pictures. Her balloon, she's hanging on for all she can, but it's about to go. I mean, the trees are just whipping. The wind blew. It took the umbrella from Mr. White and quickly turned it inside out. Okay, so just looking around, see what's going on. It's a beautiful country setting, stone wall, houses with really beautiful ornate roofs, and little girl still got her balloon, but hold on, here we go. Boop, as predicted, as I thought. It snatched the balloon from little Priscilla and swept it up to join the umbrella. Okay, so look, I mean, even little Priscilla's skirts are flying. And over here in the background, there's a wedding. And when I first looked, I thought the groom was dancing because he's like, woo, like this. But I think the wind, if you look at the lady's wedding veil, it's almost straight out. So, yes, the wind is impacting this wedding too. And not content, it took a hat, and still not satisfied with that. So sure enough, here's the groom, the man about to be married. His hat, his top hat, is flying. Priscilla's balloon, and the man's inside-out umbrella. And look what's in the background. I bet you can guess what's going to happen to that kite. It whipped a kite into the air and kept it spinning up there. Okay, so now we have the little boy in the overalls trying to catch his kite, the groom trying to get his top hat, Priscilla with her balloon, and the inside-out umbrella. And over here we have a lady trying to do her laundry. Get ready. You know what's going to happen, don't you? It grabbed a shirt let out to dry and tossed it upward in the sky. So now you've got the lady chasing after her laundry that's been on the line. You have the little boy chasing his kite, the groom for his hat, the little girl with the balloon, and the man with his inside-out umbrella. But in the back here we have a lady with her hanky for her nose. We know what's going to happen. It plucked a hanky from a nose, and up and up and up it rose. Now, lady's chasing her hanky, lady's chasing her clothing that was on the clothesline, little boy with his kite, the groom with his hat, Priscilla with her balloon, and the man with the umbrella. But there's more. There's a judge here in the background. Now, we don't see our judges like this anymore, a judge at court, you know. He's got the kind of old-fashioned or kind of official wig, the white powdered wig look. Well, we know what's going to happen to that wig, don't we? Yeah. It lifted the wig from the judge's head. It didn't drop it back. Instead, okay, judge frantically chasing the wig, lady with the hanky, little boy with the kite, lady with her shirt out on the line, Priscilla with her balloon, the groom with his hat, the man with the umbrella. There's a postman right here with his satchel filled with the mail. It's not gonna be good for the mail, is it? It whirled the postman's letters up as if it hadn't done enough. Okay, postman, judge, lady with the hanky, lady with the laundry, little boy, kite, Priscilla, the groom, now the man with the umbrella. It's the Queen's Honor Guard. Okay, he wears this great big fur hat, very official looking, standing out in front of Buckingham Palace, and the flag for England is flying. Okay, here we go. It blew so hard, it quickly stole a striped flag fluttering on a pole. So now we have little girls in the background. We haven't looked at those yet. We have the Queen's Guard. He's got his bayonet on there. I don't know if he's going to try and jab the poor flag. I don't know. Here's the flag. Now we have the postman. We have the judge. We have the lady with the hanky, the little boy with the kite. We have the lady with the laundry, Priscilla, the groom, and the umbrella guy. Oh boy. It pulled the new scarves from the twins and tossed them to the other things. Ay, 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 ay. So now look, we've got the twins with the scarf, the guard with the flag, the postman with the letters all flying about, the judge, the lady with the hanky, the lady with the laundry, the kite, Priscilla, the groom, and the fellow with the umbrella. What more can this wind do? It sent the newspapers fluttering round, and then, tired of the things it found, I mean, look, the wind is just going whoosh, 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 and messing everything all up. What do you think is going to happen? I have an idea. It mixed them up and threw them down. But look, okay, look, here are all these people like, my stuff, my things. And then look, it's all down on the heads of people. Priscilla's got the groom's hat, and the little boy's got the judge's wig, and the umbrella's now tipped upside down on, I guess it's the groom. Well, maybe that's the groom back there. The scarves are all wrapped around. It's just a wreck. But the wind's not done yet. And it blew away to sea. So here they all are. They've all got their things back. The world is right again. And here you have people out on their sailboat, happy, happy, because the wind's giving them just exactly what they need to take off. That scamper wind. The wind blew. Pat Hutchins, right? Okay. So March winds, they should be closing down pretty soon, right? Here it is almost, well, next week's the last week in March, so we'll see if the winds can take a break for a little while. Oh, the bell tells us it's time for another story. This is a beautiful story. It is. So what's nice in the story is not only the lessons that gardening gives this family, but the lessons that we, you and me, we can learn from nature, from being patient, watching a seed grow. Okay? So this is We Are the Gardeners, written by Joanna Gaines and her kids. It's dedicated to their dad, which I thought was really sweet. It's dedicated to their dad, and it says, "You have taught us that we can do hard things and to never give up even when we fail." That's an important lesson for everybody. We Are the Gardeners. That's a pretty official title, but we didn't start out this way. Just like our garden, we started small and grew from there. Some say that a garden just grows from seeds, but we think that it grows from trying and failing and trying again. A garden is hard work, but so is most of the good important stuff in life. Yep, true that. Our family's garden story began with one small potted fern. See the fern right there? Okay. Dad stumbled upon it in the hardware store when he ran in for some supplies. He said it was just too cute to leave behind, and he thought it would make Mom smile, and it did. So here, Mr. Gaines with his two sons, and there's a plant sale. So he's going to take this plant home. So here are the Gaines children. Here's the potted fern with a pretty little bird outside. We chose a sunny windowsill for that pretty little fern. It seemed like a good, safe spot for him to grow. This was back when we were little kids, but we still remember visiting the plant each day to give him a drink and sometimes even whisper to him a bit. I talk to my plants. Sometimes I say, "What's the matter? How come you're not growing?" Sometimes I say, "How pretty." And then, plot twist. Out of nowhere, our fern died. Death by overhydration. they gave the plant too much water. That's just a fancy way of saying we gave him too much water. Looking back, each one of us must have watered him every day. That's a lot of drinks for a little plant. By mistake, we love that plant to death. Some people tell themselves they are no good at something after one small failure, but no chance we were going to give up that easily. So we checked out some books from the library, and found out that ferns can be tricky and prefer to live in a shady spot. Apparently, a plant's leaves can communicate to us what they're needing. We also learned that most plants have good manners and like to sip, not gulp. Lesson learned. So here's the kids, right? They're all on stacks of books trying to figure out how to treat the plants correctly. And at first I thought these were flowers inside the plant. They're not, they're little teacups, because it's this idea of giving them sips of water, not like big gulps of water. Dad got us a fresh fern, and with it came fresh hope. This time we set the pot on our piano way on the other side of the room, where the sun wouldn't give him so much attention. We made a watering schedule and took turns saying a lot of nice things to our little sprout of a plant. Then fern number 2 lived and thrived and grew, and finally Mom got him a little potted friend. Oh, look, they're getting a collection of plants, right? Maybe at your house you've got some pretty plants growing inside. And then another, and then 1 or 2 more. We noticed that talking to our plants actually helped them grow bigger and stronger. And so we added some songs and jokes to the mix. Unlike when we overwatered, 0 plants died from us talking too much. Pretty soon, plants were taking over the house, and Dad said it was time to graduate to outdoor gardening. Mom was excited about the new outdoor garden, as we were, and she started talking about it with a dreamy look in her eyes. That's when Dad called a family meeting so that we could come up with a real plan. So here is a potted plant, right? A sunflower, seemingly different color, but it looks like a sunflower. And then here is Joanna Gaines. And look, she's got all these visions in her mind about what she wants in her garden. Have you ever done that? Gotten ideas of things you want to do? I do. We all gathered around the kitchen table and got to work dreaming, planning, and drawing things out. So this one's cute. This is their youngest daughter. She got her hand raised like, I have something to say. And they're all writing things down. They have plant books, knowing which plants they want to put in the ground. Okay, so now they have kind of a map. Here's the planting shed. Here's where the chickens will live. And here's where flowers go, corn, carrots, tomato, I guess that's broccoli, radishes, lettuce, pumpkins, and peas. And it looks like Brussels sprouts over here. We knew we needed a sunny spot, a place where plants could sunbathe for at least 6 hours a day. We'd be red as radishes if we did that, but plants just love it. And more than that, they need it. In the garden, there's no life without light. So this is a cool picture because if you notice, right, this is the plan they came up with. You can see that the paper's rolled. It's really detailed. They really had a plan and knew what they wanted to do. They put some research and time into that. Dad always says that the foundation is the most important thing when it comes to building a house, right? So the foundation, like if you have a basement and the walls, the stone walls, that's your foundation. A house can't be strong if it's built on something weak, and the same thing holds true in a garden. So To make the foundation of our garden strong, we filled it with something called good soil. Good soil, which includes a bunch of tiny living things called organisms, can grow things in it. So if you look closely, you have potatoes growing here, radishes, we have, I don't know, maybe a turnip, some carrots, onions, and we have our friends, the gardener's friends, the earthworm, and some insect. I don't know what that is. It looks like a beetle. That's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it. A whole hidden world of life is happening beneath our feet. That is a mind blow right there. Just because you can't see the good things with your eyes doesn't mean that they're not there. And another cool thing about the soil is that it feeds and strengthens the seeds that we sow, and then, like a miracle, plants and flowers burst from the ground. I know when my plants come up from the ground in the spring, it feels like a miracle. I'm like, they came back. We also knew we needed our garden to get plenty of water. Remember, they had trouble with water before, right? Let's see if they learned their lesson. Rain's the very best thing for plants to drink, but it's hard to know when and if rain is coming. So a couple other options to keep plants hydrated, remember hydrated is like getting a drink, are to collect rainwater or use a sprinkler or a garden hose to get the job done. So here are the kids in the sprinkler. I know my granddaughter loves that, out on the sprinkler. And here's the mama, Joanna, doing all the gardening, watering. Here they are up here, out at the old, spigot, getting the water from the ground. Once we had a location with plenty of sun, good soil, and watering plan, we got right to work. First things first, seeds. So if you're a gardener, some people are starting their seeds now, indoors. The most fun part of planting our garden was deciding what to plant. We started with foods we like to eat, like strawberries, yum, and tomatoes, yum. And then we chose some pretty flowers to keep them company. The thing about seeds is that they're everyday miracles. Everything a plant will grow up to be is already inside that seed. Even if the seed is tiny, tiny, everything it needs except water and soil and sun are right in that little seed. We chose flowers like zinnias, sunflowers, and cosmos so that pollinators would visit our garden. Butterflies, hummingbirds, and bees spread pollen around from flower to flower, encouraging even more things to bloom. We like knowing that the little helpers are out there in nature working with us to help this garden grow. Now, I'm a little excited, of course, to push the spring season along, but the things that we're seeing in this picture, we have to be patient. They're not ready to come here yet. Hummingbirds, the bees, these are the pollinators. They help the plants get pollen from one plant to the next. But they're coming. The bees must have put the word out that we had a pretty good thing going, because sure enough, all sorts of other critters started to arrive, and we quickly found out that there were 3 types of bugs in our backyard: the good, the bad, and the ugly. That made me laugh. Let's start with the worst part. It was a pretty sad day when the aphids arrived. They are some of the most well-known villains in the gardening world. They suck the life right out of the plants. But the ladybugs showed up to eat up those pesky aphids for lunch. Ladybugs, are for sure in the hero camp, bravely protecting our plant friends from harm. I've had aphids. They usually will come in the summer when it starts being hot. Boo hiss. I love this picture. It's the earthworm, but he looks like he's an undercover agent. And we've got to tell you about the earthworms. They're like the secret agents of the garden. Earthworms eat all of the dead things like old roots and leaves and turn them into life for the soil. Every time we found one, we'd all high five and celebrate. Yay, earthworm. They aren't pretty, but who cares? They're awesome, and we love seeing them hard at work. Seeing earthworms in your garden. This is good. We realized pretty quickly that we needed to keep the weeds out. They are the true blue bullies of the garden. Weeds try to steal water, sunlight, and nutrients from our fruits and veggies, and it's our job to make sure those little rascals don't take over. So here are the kids, they're pulling them, you can tell they're pretty dirty. Their hands and elbows are all dirty, but they're getting their job done. If we ignore the garden for too long, the weeds run wild and hurt our beloved plants. It is so much easier to do just a little bit every day. So here now the girls, right, they're really tugging. You can see how tight that plant is hanging onto the soil. We were officially gardeners and had a real-life garden to prove it. That garden became our pride and joy day in, day out. We tended to the plants, making sure they had plenty of sun and water. Look at that beautiful flower garden. Gorgeous. Every time a new plant sprouted up from the ground, our excitement grew right along with it. As time passed, our garden grew bigger, and so did our family. If you look closely, here's a new baby. When our garden was finally in full bloom and growing tall, we'd run through the aisles and watch the butterflies flutter around us. Everything's in bloom. We have to wait still. Oh, jeez. We're going to have to wait 2+ months before our gardens are like this. It's coming. But one day, as we were mid-skip, we noticed more trespassers helping themselves to lunch. And by lunch, we mean half of the garden. Animals may look cute and innocent, but some have a sneaky side. They can wipe out a garden in no time flat. The chickens ate the vegetables. The goats ate Mom's roses, and the bunnies weren't picky at all. They ate everything in sight. Saying goodbye to that many happy plants was even harder than throwing away our very first dead fern. We debated if we should just give up. Was it really worth it all to start over again? And then we remembered one very important detail. We are the gardeners. It was our responsibility not only to grow this garden, but also to protect it. So we put up little fences to keep the animals out and got to work rebuilding our garden. It didn't take long to get our garden and flowers growing tall again. To this day, our very favorite days are when we get to gather the fruits of our labor. Mom loves to set the table with pretty flowers in every color you can imagine. We helped her dream up recipes for the food that we've grown. Sometimes, when we see all of the beauty laid out, we can't believe our hands helped bring it to life. And it makes all the hard work worth it. And that's what keeps us coming back day after day, season after season. We still keep a little fern on the piano to remind us of our small beginnings, and every time we water it, we are reminded not to give up when things don't work out the first time. That's a big lesson. Because the thing is, whether one potted fern dies or half the garden is wiped out by little critters, every failure or setback teaches us something. Dad says every hard thing we choose to do makes us braver for the next time. I think that's very smart. There are so many lessons waiting to be learned and a whole world of gardening ready to bloom. We are the gardeners, and you can be too. And here's even the little baby gardener trying to pick a flower. So speaking of flowers, I'm so excited. So, of course we can't have flowers outside yet. It's just too cold. But in a minute at the craft table, we're going to have some flowers on the inside that we can look at every day. See you in a minute. Heidi-ho again at the craft table. I hope you like this little planter. I think it's darling. So what you're going to have for a craft this week is, in fact, a little planter with some silk. No, they're not silk, they're felt. Felt flowers. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so your plant pot really is a reused yogurt cup. So I've washed them all out really well and they're great, they're ready. And you don't have to poke any holes because these plants don't need any water at all. Don't give them any water. So the pot comes after. So here's how this goes. Ready? So I went ahead and I did all of the flower heads for you. So they're all done, and in your kit you will have 2 of these. They call them spring roses, ranuncula. I'm having to say it the second time. Ranuncula, I think they're cool. Anyway, so you're going to have 2 of them, and then of course in your house, if you want to go ahead and buy some felt, I encourage you. I did this one just by cutting out, what is it, just, I don't know, 7 or 8 petals, and then a piece of paper. I glued it all together and put it on a pipe cleaner. So I have my ranunculus, and I have, oh, I don't know, it's almost like a blue daisy. Okay, whatever. Okay, so when you get your kit, what's going to be in there will be the flower heads and some pipe cleaners that are already pre-cut to size. So I would say this job might be a mom-dad job. It depends how old you are when you're starting this craft yourself. I glued it to make sure it wouldn't stick, so I can see I'm going to have to cut them a little bit on the end. Anywho, all right, this one looks like it's going to work better. Okay, so you're going to find a spot and you're going to go ahead and put the pipe cleaner inside the flower. And now here is where you want to make sure you either, glue gun would be best. If you don't have a glue gun, just regular, like a liquid glue would be okay. But you gotta let it dry, okay? You want to get it down there so that the 2 stay together like this, right? This one's all done, yeah? Okay. So give that a little bit of time, set it off to the side, let it do its thing. While that's drying, inside your kit you will have some leaves for each of the flowers. Had a little moment there. And sure enough, go ahead again, either if you're using a glue gun, which I would say is preferred on this craft, or the liquid glue, go ahead and put those on, and yes, give it some drying time. So he's just going to be drying. And then, presto changeo, here you go, right? That's what you're going to end up with, right? Like, boink, 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 can't hurt that one. It's ready. Okay, so you're going to have 2 of these. Then you're ready for your pot. So this part's all done. It's all dry, ready to go. Bing, bing, can't hurt it. And now you get to do your decorating. If you have multicolored permanent markers, you can color right on this plastic. I didn't have those at my house, so my granddaughter Paige helped me with this. And these are her art designs with, I think she did an awesome job. She did some bees and she did some flowers. She's got another cute bee over here. And so what we did is just to go ahead and glue this decorative border and the bees right onto the cup. And if it's a glue gun, it will stick instantly. If you're using another type glue, it's going to take, I think, a little while to go ahead and stick. So kids, for you, I would say have fun. Do some decorating. Make some ladybugs. Put some bumblebees. Do whatever you want to go on your pot. Okay? Right. Once that's done, you're going to go ahead and you just bend the end of the pipe cleaner. Now, why do you do that? Because it gives more space for the glue to stick to. And again, this is definitely either a tape. You could use tape to glue these down or to tape them down. Really good strong tape. Or you could use your glue gun. That's what I used. And you're going to put your two that you're going to get, your two plants in here, and that's that. To top it off with dirt, I did in my pot actually use dirt, okay? Like I had some orchid dirt. Well, they're really not dirt, it's bark. But I had some bark and I put that in. Now at your house, what I will put in your kit, in case you don't have any of that around, is I will put some of these darker pom-poms. And that will hide your plant. Oh yeah, pro tip. Don't put your curve too low. Don't make your flower so short. That's what I'm trying to say, so that you can still see it at the top of your cup. Like, see mine? They're just barely poking over. So you want to make sure not to get this piece too short, or you just won't see your fun flowers at all. And then that's it. Presto changeo. You have yourself your own little sweet garden until such time as you can get out and help in the real garden with your parents and your family. I hope you have a super fun time with this craft. And let me know when you come in the library. I will bring some of this bark in. And if you really want to try bark versus the pom-poms and mom and dad are on board with that, then I'll send some home. Okay? Until next time, our Storytime friends, see you later. Bye-bye.